Marketplace is supported by Putnam Investments, committed to helping families across America pursue their college savings goals. On the web at putnam.com/529. Produced in association with the University of Southern California.
A Nobel Prize in economics uniquely suited to our times. The budget deficit and alternative realities on the broadcast today, although not in the same story. And some texting while driving, although not in an actual car. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by the Wall Street Journal Weekend, offering 4 sections of ideas and information, available at newsstands every Saturday. And by Progressive Insurance, with more than 30,000 local independent agents. Information available at progressive.com.
From the Frank Stanton Studios in Los Angeles, I'm Kai Ryssdal. It is Monday, today the 11th of October. Good to have you with us. We have been talking for, 2.5 years now about the labor market, about how lousy it is, about how hard it is to create new jobs, generally as if that labor market were a single coherent thing. The 3 men who won the Nobel Prize in economics this morning begged to differ. Americans Peter Diamond from MIT, Dale Mortensen of Northwestern, and Christopher Pissarides of the London School of Economics. Their official citation reads, "For their analysis of markets with search frictions." In simpler terms, they explained why it is that we can have lots of unemployed workers and unfilled jobs, or plenty of people looking to buy a house and so many unsold homes all at the very same time. Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman explains.
In a perfect economy, price would be determined by a simple equation of supply and demand. How many flat-screen TVs are for sale? How many people want them? Not enough buyers, price goes down. Not enough TVs, price goes up.
The starting point model that economists often talk about for supply and demand doesn't really say much about how buyers and sellers come together.
MIT economist Jim Peterba says what today's Nobel winners have described in complicated equations is the friction that gets between actual buyers and sellers, or employers and job seekers. It's all the added costs and complications of searching.
The notion that there is search and that search takes time, that people wait for the best offer they might be able to get, is a very important reality in many markets, housing markets, cars, or other things you might sell in auctions or on eBay, and in particular in the labor market.
And here's the problem with the job market that this search theory can help solve. How can there be so many people unemployed and yet still be so many employers advertising job openings they can't fill? Economist Mark Cooperberg at Swarthmore College says, imagine if the labor market were a produce market instead.
You don't see a lot of rotting tomatoes and rotting fish in produce markets, and yet you do see a lot of unemployed workers, especially now. The question is why? Why is it that the labor market does not seem to work as well in terms of allocating workers to jobs?
The models developed by today's Nobel winners explain the factors that get in the way of a market that efficiently matches workers and jobs. Factors like whether workers have the right job skills, and people's difficulty selling a house right now and moving, and unemployment benefits that are sometimes higher than the low-wage jobs that are available. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
The private equity firm Bain Capital did a little Columbus Day shopping today. They picked up the kid store Gymboree for $1.8 billion. That's a whole lot of activity classes and footy PJs, so we asked Marketplace's Elisa Roth to find out what makes the company worth a price like that.
Gymboree's biggest business is a middle to upper range kids' clothing line. Think something like Gap Kids. But it also has a high-end line and a relatively new lower-end one that competes with places like Old Navy. Betty Chen follows Gymboree at Wedbush Securities. She says at some competitor stores, you get the feeling they've added kids' clothes just to make you spend more money there. She says investors like the idea that Gymboree is really all about the kids.
There's a little area for you to sit your kids down. They can watch educational program on TV so that you can shop in peace. And so it really tries to cater to the parents and the caregivers and making that shopping experience as easy as possible.
She says there are other things that make Gymboree attractive. The lower-end line is so new, there's lots of room to grow, and Gymboree recently started expanding overseas. The other thing is kids always need more clothes because they're constantly growing. Wendy Liebman is CEO of WSL Strategic Research.